Hi, my name is Rosie. I'm an educator at FoodShare. Today we're going to be doing a fun activity called Hummus in a Bag. That's right, we're going to make some hummus in a bag. This is a really fun activity. It's part of one of our workshop series called Cooking Off-Grid. Cooking off-grid simply means trying to make some recipes or prepare some foods that don't necessarily need to be made with any electricity. So normally hummus could be made with a blender and a food processor, but we're gonna take it back, make it really easy. We're gonna use our own mussels and maybe some other things that you might have lying around the house to help you make your own hummus. And so while we aren't going to be using any electricity per se, we are going to be using some energy. We're going to be using kinetic energy, which is the energy that we can put out with our own bodies. So not only is this good to use less energy, but it's also good to get your body flowing, use your muscles, maybe work up a bit of a sweat during your hummus making. This is also an activity that can be a little bit loud. So if you have anyone in your household that is sensitive to loud noises, definitely try and do it at a time when they're not around, or let them know that it's going to be going on. So there's a few different reasons why we would even want to try and cook something without any electricity. First and foremost, it's always a good idea to try and use less electricity. It can show us how much we appreciate the appliances that we do have with the amount of extra energy that we have to put into it. And maybe we could learn some new skills for if there's a power outage, or maybe you're on a camping trip or a road trip or somewhere where you don't have as much access to plugs and kitchen materials. So we don't need a whole lot in terms of ingredients. What I have here is a can of chickpeas. Now I have not rinsed these chickpeas. The liquid that the chickpeas come in is called AQUAFABA, and it's actually a really great cooking resource. You can use it as a substitute for egg whites in a lot of baking. It has some protein. It's really healthy, so we don't necessarily just want to dump that out. We can save it. We can use it to make our hummus a little bit runnier if we'd like, but definitely hold on to that. Try to get out of the habit of dumping your cans of chickpeas and just dumping that down the drain. We also have some tahini here. Tahini is just a ground sesame paste. So if you do have a nut allergy, it's hard to find tahini that's completely allergen free. So you can always omit that, put something else in creamy if you'd like, or just do it without. We're also going to use a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of lemon juice. If you have a fresh lemon, that's even better. We're also going to throw in some parsley with it to give it a little bit of flavor. You can use any other herb or any other seasoning, even some roasted vegetables or maybe caramelized onions. This parsley was a little bit wilty, so I've been soaking it in some water to perk it back up. But since we're gonna mush it all up anyways, it's perfectly fine. And then you will also need 2 Ziploc bags. If you are going to be reusing a bag, you could use an old milk bag or anything that's completely sealed. Just make sure that you've totally disinfected the inside. You could use some baking soda or some vinegar to make sure it's nice and clean. And you can use these bags another time too. So try to be as gentle as you can, and you can get another use out of it. We're trying to err away from using these reusable bags, but for this activity, it's a great maybe way to give a Ziploc bag a second life if it hasn't been too dirty. The heavy duty ones are a little bit better because we are going to put it through some work. So we're not going to be following too specific of measurements, but you want to add in about a cup or 2 cups of chickpeas with a slotted spoon. Next, we're going to dump in our tahini, about a tablespoon or 2, depending on how much sesame flavor you like. I'm going to add in some of my fresh parsley. I really love parsley. We're going to add in about 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and about the same amount of our olive oil as well. So now when we are closing our bag, we want to make sure that we get all of the air that we can out of the bag. This is going to help the bag not explode when you are mushing up your chickpeas into a nice smooth hummus. We are now going to place this bag into a second bag. This is going to help ensure that there is no mess and no explosions of hummus all over your kitchen. And now for the fun part. You want to mush up this bag as much as you can. The more time you put into it, the smoother your hummus will be. You can use a rolling pin, you can use a bowl, you can use a can. If you want your hummus to be a little bit smoother, you can open it back up and add in some more liquid. Taste test along the way. When you get your hummus out, you can cut a hole in the end and pipette it onto your favorite foods. Yeah, it's good.